What's up, guys? We're here with the new Fire Construction deck. This just dropped today, so we're super excited to play it. We're going to be starting a budget series with this deck, so definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be episode 1 of it. I'll be showing off the deck. We're going to open up one of these, and then I'll go off camera and I'll build the deck up. But give you a nice little play mat, which is kind of cool. For all you players who don't have it, you can take this to locals, I guess, play with it. I don't really know if I would add that, but definitely is cool. You have the Garunix and then the Kieran and the Monkey. And I'll show you a little bit of combos in the back. I don't know how efficient they are with the core sets of the year, which is pretty nice. I don't really know if any of these cards will play in it. I know that definitely this one here is nice in it, and then obviously Thrust is pretty cool. But this all relies on this little guy right here. So we're going to be opening it up. They shrunk these structure decks down so much. Not having any plastic, which is nice, just having the plastic in here. But yeah, going to be ripping it open. And we talked a little bit about the cards. But we have Sager King, Garunix. This is like your main summoner essentially, which is pretty nice. Then you have Kieran, which is your spell and trap. And then we have Wrangle Bali. I don't even know if you play this one, to be honest. The Sanctuary, which is one of your cards that you search now, it helps you pop your stuff and adds back. Definitely, crazy card. Then we have the Garunix. This is like the extremely, it just pops everything on the field when it's summoned during your opponent's turn, which is nice, during half the time. Then we see the Sky King Burn. We don't play this card. We also don't play this card. But we have the legendary King Phoenix, or Phonix, I should say. This card's like your bread and butter. It says all your starters of the deck, you're going to be searching this all the time, or just popping it and then it adds back to your hand, which is extremely cool. You guys will see the combos, and then we're going to be going through it. Then we play a Baron, we have the Akashi, the Baby Kieran here, the Blasters, the Sparks, and then we have Bearman, Wolf Bark, Vanisher, Eternal Flame Angler, or Emperor here, Dogran, which is pretty nice. We'll probably play this one. And then we have like a bunch of just old reprints that are kind of good. Actually, this being in here is actually sick. Then, of course, we have Droll and Lockbird as a common. We definitely take those. And then Onslaught, Circle. There we see a little guy. We actually saw him before he came out in the structure deck, was kind of cool. Tenki, which is nice. If we don't have to win the Tri-Raid route, we can definitely play that card. And there's like some good cards like Dark Hole, Herald of the Abyss for when you want to just absolutely destroy purely right out of a structure deck. And then, of course, we have the Spiritual Art Fire, great in the structure deck when you actually can play these cards like going first and going second cards, which is nice. Same thing with Torrential Tribute and Judgment. And then we have the common printing of Impermanence. This did just get a reprint in the rarity collection, and like absolutely every rarity there. But we haven't had it in common yet, so it's obviously nice getting that in common. Being able to like hit your opponents with a crazy card. And then we see a Power Sink Stone, absolute garbage. But we have some extra deck monsters here. We have Coaching Trainer, which is definitely needed another reprint. And then we have Dire Wolf and then Hita with the copy of Garunix and the Arita and a Fire King Island here. I was wondering where those were. But yeah, the deck definitely revolves around like shuffling and such, or not shuffling, but going through these boys here and just shuffling through all of this, like going back and forth. This plays this searches for this blows stuff up, and then you get your these cards going in rotation to just field wipe during your opponent's turn. But we're definitely going to be, obviously doing this up. I'll shuffle up the deck here, sleeve it up, and show you guys the good stuff afterwards. What's up, guys? We're back here after locals. We ended up going 2-1, which is pretty nice. At our first locals with this deck, which I'm super excited about. Very, very hyped to end up doing this. Game 1 was kind of a bit scuffed. I'll explain to you guys before we dive in. I'll probably only feature like 2 of the rounds. I won't feature the one. I guess I'll feature the first and the third. So the first one was kind of scuffed because of the fact that we were playing, this first time it came out. I was reading the cards for the first time, kind of forgot the combos, and my opponent had to learn the cards as well. And in the second game, I ended up playing that game. He was playing Chill Elements. You guys will see in the replays here. We were reading a lot of stuff. We did go to time, and I just had Battle Phase. Unfortunately, I was able to take for game. Wasn't feeling really nice, but it's still what it is. What it is. Game 2, I played against a newer player who's playing Rescue Ace. I feel bad. Like, he's not very good at the game, but that's fine. Like, when you're a new player, you're obviously, just starting out the stuff, picking up a meta deck, which is a very high ceiling deck. For skill levels, also like important. He had 3 impulse in the hand as well, which is like really bad to do. I went first, and then game 3 I played against another rescue-based player. I got absolutely cooked. This guy is, won to YCSs as well as, consistency tops locals and regionals levels events as well. So, definitely not having 3-time structure deck, but we're going to be diving on in. Like you guys see the cards. I was going to explain to you guys the deck and my choices here. We're going to be going over some stuff as well. Then we'll be changing it. I'm going to make this a budget series. So yeah, we're starting off with the 3 Grunix. This card's definitely going to be cuttable to 2 in the future, but we're going to be playing 3 of it for now. And then we have Kieran. This is one of the best ones. You have to absolutely have to play this at 3. So we're going to be playing it at 3. Then we have the 3 Phonics. Same thing. This card's crazy. As well as, by the way, when you destroy this off your Fire King and you search for this triggers immediately and summons himself out. I don't know if I actually did that during the plays, but of course, we're just learning the deck as well. So it's important for us, we're all learning this together. And then we're on the 3 Avada. I also promise I'll be doing better. This is your Monster Negate, which is nice. And then we have your 2 Barons and your 1 Rangabali. I ended up deciding to play this card as a 1-up. It's a good spell and trap hate. I guess same as this stack. This one doesn't reborn. If this one had the effect that it could reborn itself, like the Arvada does, you'd be able to play like multiple of this and be a really good card. But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. It does have the condition that it can, if a monster is destroyed, you can special summon himself out. So he is an extender, but he's not that great. And then we're also playing the 1 Baron, or the 2 Baron here. We are going to be cutting it down to 1 eventually, because of the fact that when you dump it off of this, it gains the attack, and then you get search during the next turn there, which is pretty cool. That's it for the Fire King monsters. A very standard lineup here. We're going to be cutting down one of these and one of these eventually, but this is a budget build, so we're going to be playing like Fire Kings eventually. Then we got the 2 Fire King Islands standard. You don't need to play 3 of these cards. And then we're playing the 3 Sanctuary. I don't want to say cut this down to 2. I really do like the 3 of it for now, at least. It's a very powerful card. It's absolutely crazy. It also, that XYZ effect is absolutely busted. So I'd like to point that out. We are playing the 1 Fire King Skyburn. This card actually, I was trying to fit in a 40th card. I was trying to figure out what it was. It was between this and Tenki. But I was looking through it, and this card's actually crazy. It makes like the budget version of this deck insane. Be able to pop your cards, your opponent's cards. It also plays around stuff like Fenrir and other cards as well, being able to destroy multiple stuff. It's good against back row as well. If you're able to set up a multiple monster on the field, destroy all your stuff. It's really, really good, to be honest. And also like dodges imperms and stuff as well, which is very cool. I definitely think that this card is unexplored and should be looked at more often. Unfortunately, I didn't give it much credit. We say we don't play this, but this card's absolutely amazing. I might be bumping this up. And then we're playing Circle. I just wanted a different name, and I really think this card's super cute, so I added him in. But I might be bumping up Skyburn to 3, or at least a 2 for now. It's like really good against like your back row, and it also triggers a bunch of your stuff. Then for the other spells, we're also playing the 3 Dark Hole. We're gonna be kind of like aiming towards going second, I guess. For now, or that's not true. We want going second cards because of the fact that this deck is very weak going second with not that many hand traps. So you wanted to play some powerful going second cards as well as you can use this turn 3 if you set up a board. Let's set up a board, and you go Dark Hole, blow up your stuff. If you summon this out, this gets triggered when it gets blown up. So there's kind of synergy there. Now for the hand traps, we're on the 3 Droll and Lockbirds that come in the deck as well as the 3 Impermanents. Can't really go wrong here. Absolutely insane that they gave us both of these. Thank you, Konami, for that. And then for like our non-engine slots or your like non-good cards, we're playing the 3 Kaijus once again for going second. The 3 Alphas. This actually won me the game versus 2 Elements, which is kind of cool. We were playing against it. I ended up like being able to summon this out. I Kaiju them first. They had a Beatrice, and then I ended up Alpha, bounce back, and then Kaiju them again. And summon this out again, which is really cool, to be honest. I really did enjoy like, the synergy between these 2. And then, of course, we play the 3 trade-ins because they go with both of these, being able to draw 2 cards, as well as your Grunix being a level 8. That was very nice. I couldn't really complain. The deck it's obviously a solid 40. I'm not playing Tenki because we don't really like the card. And it's not that really good. If you want to search for your Arvadas or your copy of Barons, or the Rangabali, you can, but really you just want to normal summon out the Fire King guy to search for your spell. So I didn't really see that the usage of this to be really good for consistency wise. I want to let those more going second cards because this deck does struggle so hard, out of the get-go to play going second. Like if you play versus Rescue Ace and they set up their board, it's really hard for you to actually do anything. But being able to summon like Alpha, it doesn't like put that much pressure, but it's able to play. So it's really nice to be able to like tide you something and then being Alpha, or even going first, you draw one of these. You have trade in to discard, draw 2 cards. I didn't know trade in was not once per turn, so you guys will see a little bit of a misplay. Game 1, I opened up trade in, Doggeran, and like Phonics, and I ended up misplaying. Or no, Phonics was my top deck, but I ended up misplaying a bit. But they milled bad, so I ended up winning that game anyways. But it definitely was kind of funny there. Now moving on to the extra deck. This is actually like useless. You play 2 of this, and the rest is just all the rest of the cards. We're just playing a whole copies of this. Hita is actually, useful. We'll probably keep that in. But, this is just really just all the stuff from the structure deck. Not very important. If you ever summon this out, you're doing this wrong, by the way. Same with Coach King. You definitely do not ever need to go to Coach King. Just leave it on the field so you can go into this. Now for your side deck, because this actually is crazy. Like, the structure deck is so fire, no pun intended, that you're able to build a side deck and a main deck that's actually competitive, or semi-competitive, being able to play. I went 2-1 at my locals, which I'm very happy about. I did get lucky, but it's still the same time, it's very fun. So going first options, you have your Spirit Fire Art. People were playing this at 1, actually, and playing, like, thrusts. Obviously not for this, but it's just a time option, as well as, being able to destroy a card. Our tribute is very nice. Especially if you can deal so much of damage. Like your boss spawns, like this one here, gets big very easily. And then you're able to like tribute it off and then burn. Or if you like leave them at a little bit of life points and you're able to set this, pop it for 27, can actually just take the game right there. When 2000 is already a quarter of your life points. So it's really nice. They're playing Solemn Judgment. It's a going first card. Same thing with the Torrential Tributes. Going first, I wanted to have more options. If I wanted to stop my stuff, go on like having those board breakers sided against you. You're able to play Judgment. Feels nice. This is just really for time. I can't really justify playing anything else. I was thinking of playing like one of these, reading it back, but I really can't see a time where I'd actually want to be able to do this. So, that's that. Torrential Tribute is just Torrential Tribute for a bunch of those combo decks. You can be able to set it. We wanted to fill these 15 cards, really. This is more important. Like, if I could show you guys really what's actually important, I'd probably go like with these, and this really is your side deck. I guess you could really count these as well for going at a time. But really, for your side deck, all that really matters is these cards. Herald of the Abyss is there for purely, as well as it's just a crazy going second card. This is for your spell and trap hate, as well as like this thing. So if you're playing it's like a heavy spell and trap like Labyrinth, you could actually put this in, and a lot of the time, like if you see it, it's very good because it also is an extender, so you don't have to normal summon it, which is nice. And always being able to negate spells and traps is very nice as well. Then Sky Burns, pop your stuff. It's actually really good in Rescue Race as well, so kind of cool to have. We'll definitely be seeing these in the side for a while now. And then if anything changes, I'll obviously let you guys know. We're going to be doing a budget series on this, so we can be changing it together. But other than that, that's going to be the deck profile for this part of it. For at least this week, we're going to be adding $15 to our budget, and we'll see you guys in the gameplay. What's up, guys? We're here at the game 1. We're only featuring game 1 and match 1 and match 3 here. We're going to be playing Max here in match 1 with the Tier Elements deck on the left side here. We're obviously playing the Fire King. It's been a little bit of time since I've been doing one of these series, so I'm a little bit rusty, but we're going to be fixing it up. We actually have not done the intro yet, so there'll be an intro coming soon, as well as an upgrade to all this. But we're going to be going first here. We're going to be activating a trade-in, and then we discard the Doggeran to draw 2 cards here. We end up drawing into a Doggeran as well as a trade-in there. We did the deck profile prior to this, and then so we set 1 card, which is the trade-in, which is very unfortunate. We normal summon out the Avatar, which is a monster negate by destroying one of the level fire in our hand, which we do have the Doggeran there. So yes, we have a monster negate, which is not that bad, really, when you look at it. But they do have a Fenrir, which is quite problematic for us to be able to activate there. And so we're reading the Avatar to see if it does negate. It does not destroy, so we just don't really care. Lets us search for a copy. And then we do hit them with a Droll and Lockbird. But at the time, we don't exactly know what they're playing. We're hoping that they're on Mannadium there. Max has been playing Mannadium for a long time. But they are, unfortunately, on the Trail Elements, which is a very powerful deck. Because they can just start off by activating a Tier Cache there, banishing the Fenrir, and then they can start milling cards here, which lets them activate their stuff. And Droll lets you mill, so we're going to be seeing us attempt to negate this, hoping that maybe they don't have another extender and they can't mill anything else. We do see a polymerization here, going for a King of the Swamp and all three to go for a Guardian Chimera there. But unfortunately, they cannot draw because of the effect of Droll. They're going to go battle phase, attack, attack. But they do want to get them in the graveyard because they want to be able to activate the effect of Mali during the next turn, and then also the King of the Swamp. Being any card in the graveyard, being either a Garafa or a Kakalos there, so that we can get into the copy of Rukalos. Is quite good, and leaving us a Fenrir and a big body on the field is quite problematic for this deck to be able to do it. But we do normal summon out the Chicken Nugget here, which will be able to search for the spell, and then we're going to have all this stuff. But they do have a Challenge Cashier there, which can banish the Tier Cache in the graveyard. Then we can start milling stuff. We're going to be searching for the Fire Sanctuary Searcher here, or I guess the Fire Island Searcher. Plays on the field. This card does a lot. It lets us XYZ. You always want to search this over just the Fire King. Just because of the fact that you want that additional protection as well. And then we see them mill a Grief and a Shuffler back, as well as a Super Poly. Then we play the Fire King Island, which is very important. A lot of players do not know, but if you just destroy the Fire King Island and you don't have the spell on the field, your board just gets nuked, which is pretty crazy. Kind of don't really want the stuff, but here they're going to be hopefully not milling anything else, but they do have Fenrir, which is very important for us. But we are explaining what the cards do. Then we're going to be activating Fire King Island, popping the Chicken Nugget, which lets us search here for the copy of Garunix, which can then special summon himself out. I don't even know if I activate this effect. I really hope I do. This was my first time playing this deck, as well as, first time reading most of the cards there. I read them over in the deck profile when I was building it before locals, but I kind of ended up when you get blacked out and you're forgetting your stuff. So then we summon himself out here, and then we're going to activate the effect, and we send a Baron, which lets us add. We actually send a Kieran to be able to boost the attack up, and then that effect's going to activate here, which is going to be able to summon back out a copy of the Baron in the grave. Or the Avatar there. I guess we have the Avatar, so we should summon him out. But we also get to pop a card as well. But then they're gonna Fenrir here. Okay, so we summon first, activate the effect, and then we're going to be sending the Kieran. He then gets to banish it face down, which is quite good because we are only on 3 copies of this card. Eventually it's going to be 2, so it is very nice to be able to banish stuff down. And then we get to summon and pop. And then we definitely pop the Fenrir there because we can't attack. We can't pop anything else. It is kind of unfortunate for us that we did not set up a XYZ during our opponent's turn because we would have drawn into the baby and then something else. Then we're just going to pass turn on this. But during the standby phase, we're going to be seeing the Chicken Nugget being added back to hand, which is quite nice here. Also being a negate essentially for the copy of Avatar here. And then we should be negating this Mali, but we just don't for some random reason. I don't even know why. Kind of forgot to do that, to be honest. And they mill, and unfortunately they do hit here. They hit a trap as well as a monster effect, which now they can chain block. But misplaying for us. The tension is high. We're reading the cards. It's just local, so your tension shouldn't be that high. Shouldn't be that worried, but they're gonna activate the effect and mill 2, and then we're like, okay, if we stop this, will this be able to activate once again? So then they add back the Tier Cache, we activate the effect, we negate it with the Avatar here, which then lets us keep it in hand. But they will be able to use it during the follow-up turn, which is, very good because they have Scream on field as well. But if they don't shuffle back, I guess I have to destroy it. So yeah, let me activate the effect, which can let us reborn out a one of the Fire Kings. But he does have the shuffler here, so we're gonna activate the effect, and he's just gonna shuffle them all back essentially there. We get to summon it out here because he just didn't, This is what I mean. Like, we would have negated that if we were thinking, and then you're just going to chain the shuffle back. So he would have changed it in the first place, so he wouldn't be able to activate those effects. But now he's going to chain it here so that when the Kieran dies, it can't summon back as well, which is a little bit of a misplay on his part, but, it is what it is. We both have to learn what these cards do in the moment. He could have changed it because it doesn't just, like, activate and summon, but we're going to scoop it up there because we know we've lost. Moving on to game 2, though, here. I believe we get to go first and get to do some cool stuff. Once again, this is just my first time playing, so it's not the greatest. But let me know in the comment section down below what other cards you guys would change. I'm definitely looking to improve. It's my first time playing these cards and reading these cards. So definitely not going to be like the best tier gaming. This is the budget series, but we'll be getting way better with time goes by. I've already gotten better, like, in my second duel here, which we are not featuring. It was versus Rescue Ace. I can't be featuring all the stuff, but if you guys want me to feature it, having it over an hour, I definitely can do that. I feel like it's already long as is, so we are going to be cutting out some of the stuff, like cutting out game 3 in this, where we do end up going to time. And then definitely no point of seeing that. So we're trying to be cutting like all the stuff that's only important, and I want to be featuring like important matchups here. If we end up playing like through bricks and it's just like a slaughter fest, it's definitely not worth it to be playing that, or to be featuring that, I should say. But moving on to game 2 here, we're going to be setting a card, setting another card, and I think just passing on this, and we set one monster and pass. So definitely not great at all here. And they're going to be activating a planet. And I think we just Judgment this. Or do you let it go through? We actually let it go through here. I guess really hoping that we can just stop something else. They already have like the best cards in hand, but there's no really point of Judgmenting it. So they add a Sharon here. Then we're especially on a Fenrir. And we have to Judgment this Fenrir because this Fenrir does so much for us. Like for them being able to do something to us and just absolutely destroying us. So then they go King of the Swamp, search for a polymerization. Droll is very good in this deck as well, especially when they're on the King of the Swamp build. Then we're going to go Shiren here. They're going to summon itself out by dumping a Merly. They get their mills again. They do hit a Fenrir, so we don't have to worry about at least one more copy of it. But they do hit a Mally there, and they have to put back the Merly and the King of the Swamp to go for a copy of the Grapha here. Kind of having the read that is an Imperm being set there. If it was a call by the, or not a call by the gear, but if it was a copy of Solemn, we would have been able to flip it there, which is kind of unfortunate. But we're going to see a normal summon of a Rhino Heart, and while they only have 2 cards in the hand, we have to kind of chain the impermanence there, making them discard either the Unknown or the Polymerization, which is a very nice card. Being able to send the Sharon from the field to the graveyard, as well as, if he gets another additional monster on the field that is activate when it's sent. So kind of nice for us, forcing them out, like, while they only have 2 cards in hand, because they can add a lot of cards afterwards. Like, once they start adding their trap cards, we don't really care if they're discarded. I guess we don't really want them to be discarded. We want to be discarding, like, important cards there. And if you would have valued that polymerization, you would have had to discard the other card in hand. So it is kind of nice. But they're going to go for the Redoer play here, and then be able to put back. Then we're going to be seeing the Shiren going to activate its effects, putting back the Mally, the Mally as well as itself to go for the Denier. The Denier is going to be dumping the Mally there and discarding the Talents in the hand, which was very much dead. Then we see them summon out the Mally. They can then go for a copy of Beatrice here, which will be able to send a card from the deck to the graveyard here. To go for an Agito, which is going to make us both mill here. We see a Baron, 2 Judgments, and then another avatar set, or another avatar sent here. And they do mill a Merly themselves, which they already have activated this turn, so it's not going to be very nice. Definitely could be potential better mills. But they can go battle phase here and attack into our monster, but they choose not to because they don't want it to trigger. So they just simply pass turn on this. And then standby phase, we're going to see Redoer come back. Or no, end phase, Redoer comes back. Standby phase, we're going to be seeing the Redoer attach an Imperm to it, which is amazing because it is a trap card here. Then they're going to go main phase, smash down that Dogger in there, and they go, yeah, okay, so I should have definitely learned that, while you're on the budget deck, to shotgun my Beatrice because, if we hit the main phase, I have priority there, and I can just put down the Dogger in. It does kind of lose it because, if you don't send a Miller here, it's kind of unfortunate. But, a lot of times they want to send a card as an interrupt, essentially, or that can, fuse into an interruption at the time. Which is kind of nice. Then we flip up a Ringo Bally here, and he goes, that card doesn't even activate when it's destroyed. What were you doing? And it was it's a bait. But I do wish that Ringo Bally, or whatever the heck his name is, the monkey one, it should have had the same effect as the Avatar one does, Arvada, the Avatar, summon out one when it's destroyed. It should have had that effect, I guess, it is an extender. So kind of taking it when you can, but we see the Kieran activates effects here, and then they're going to be tagging out with the Redoer. Or they activate the Redoer here. We tag out into the Kieran because it is like Red Dog when we play Shavara all the time. We play Unchained all the time. It's kind of like the big Red Dog, which can actually tag out and dodge cards like Imperm. And then we're going to see it go battle phase, attack into the Redoer here, which means that actually both the effects that's going to activate here, the Kieran is going to be able to summon out from the graveyard and pop a card as well, which is very nice for us. Going to be able to pop. And then we're going to be summoning out the copy of the Garunix with its own effect, mind you, and we get to summon out the Monster Negate here. And then we get to see the effect of the big boy himself, Garunix, the Mega Chicken here, which can actually dump from the deck, or destroy from the deck, I should say. I always say dump, but it does destroy. We can send either a Baron or we can send a Kieran here, which we already activated the effect, so we definitely do not need to send it. But we're going to be, boosting the attack, and then we did pop the Beatrice there, which in hindsight we should have popped, or I guess we popped our Kaiju there, but in retrospect we should have popped the Grapha Fusion because it is at 37, which is very powerful, and it's getting boosted by the tier spell, while the Doggeran was not. But here we're going to be seeing the Baron during standby phase, going to be adding us the little chicken here, little Miss Chicken Nugget. We do have a Monster Negate in the hand there, so we're going to go battle phase and attack into it, which means that they only have one card in the hand, which is pretty nice. And they're going to pass turn on that. We're going to add to our hand, and we're going to summon the Chicken Nugget here. Activating the effect, it's going to be able to let us add a spell. They're going to Grapha Negate, or at least attempt to Grapha Negate, but we can chain and destroy a card in our hand or the field here, which is going to be destroying the Chicken Nugget, which is actually amazing for us because of the fact that it's still, is a way to dodge Imperm, as well as we still get our search here. Searching for the Sky Island, and then the Chicken Nugget comes back during the standby phase the next turn anyways. So then we're going to be activating the Fire King Island here. And then we can actually activate the effect destroying the monster we have on the field, the Arvara. And then it's going to be able to trigger and summon back one from the graveyard as well. And summon the Grunix because the Grunix saw a monster being destroyed. So you guys can definitely see how the deck does snowball here. And then we're going to be searching for that Kieran. And then we're going to be seeing the effects of Grunix, as well as the effect here of the Arvada, the Elephant Boy, summoning out the Kieran himself. And then we're going to activate the effect of the Garunix to dump from the deck. Dumping the Kieran, and then Kieran will be able to summon back out one and pop a card. Then we chain the Kieran here to destroy a summon. We actually forgot to summon off the other Kieran as well, which is, very unfortunate for us. The Kieran was destroyed, so it should activate the effects, bring back out, and then destroy the Grapha. But we actually chose to bring it out from the hand instead, and then destroy it, which, is, I guess, definitely a misplay on our parts. Then during standby phase, we're going to adding back, but it doesn't look like they have anything there. It's like we could have had another Kieran on the field, and also have destroyed the Grapha, which would have been enough for game here. But we do have a quick, destroying on their turn, which could be very nice. But this game is in our hand, and they do have Super Poly here, which they're going to set, interestingly enough. They may not have any targets for it currently. And just pass turn on this. Your whole deck is fire attribute, which is kind of cool. Then we normal summon out a Beast Warrior here, and I'm going to take a second to read it. It is Ringo Bally, I believe. Then we're going to go the effect here of Sky Island destroying the Chicken Nugget, and that's going to let us search and summon potentially another copy of the Big Chicken, but going for the Arvada instead here. And then we're going to be activating the effect of Grunix to summon back out. And they're on fumes here. They can go for the Super Poly if they wanted to at this point, or we can just go Battle Phase, but we do attempt to go into the XYZ here, just wanting to kind of flex, but it destroys all our monsters. Definitely not a good idea on our part. This will be able to trigger the Kieran, though, which can then destroy the Super Poly, but, holy, what are we thinking? It is a 3,000 body, so it is still fine because they are very low on life points. But we've already through game once. And here they are Super Polying us again for all we're worth. And then all our monsters are going to get destroyed. But they're going for itself and the Kieran here so that they will not trigger. We've already activated the effect of the Garunix. So we actually get nothing out of this, which just feels so bad. It feels horrible for us, but it is what it is. The second time we end up throwing game here, but I believe we still end up succeeding because their draws are just absolutely horrible. We are pretty low on fumes there, but we have not normal. This is just draw a card and they pass, which is very unfortunate for us. We're going to be normal summon with the Chicken Nugget. Activates effects here, which can search us for in the Sky King Baron, which says we'll be able to destroy multiple cards, of our monster, and then, let's say, the spell, destroying that in the back row there, and then I'm scooping it up, and we end up taking that game. And then you guys know that during the next game here, we end up going to time, which is, a kind of a big no-no, but it is the first time we are playing the deck, and the first time our opponent is playing versus the deck here, so they end up going to be reading the cards. And then we're diving on right into Game 3. We end up winning, not Game 3, Match 3 here. We end up winning Match 2. It was a brand new player, playing Rescue Ace. So playing a deck that has a high ceiling, and also being a new player is never a great combo, but they're going to be learning. So now we're going to be moving on to get match number 3 here versus Angus. Shouts to Angus. Shouts to Max as well, being great opponents as well. And then they're also going to be needing to read these cards. But Angus has been playing for a very long time. You guys have seen him on the channel a lot. He's playing Rescue Ace, one of the best decks of the format. So obviously we're going to be getting absolutely slaughtered here. And then he asks, can we read the XYZ? We said obviously, say of course. They have the rights to look up any card at the time on Neuron. So, might as well just make it easier. They definitely know we're playing 3X structure deck. So we just give them the card and let them read it. So know what it does. Which is pretty nice. It's a very, very crazy card here. So we're going to go and activating trade, and we get Ash, which is kind of bad because it is a -2 in this case, and we're already running on very low cards. We're going to activate Fire King Island and then destroying the Rango Bally in our hand. So not only do we get Ash, but we also have to destroy a card that does absolutely nothing when a card is destroyed. That's going to search us for the Chicken Nugget here, but will it be enough? And then it's going to be triggering the effect of Grunix here. So we actually could have destroyed Grunix, but whatever. And then we're going to activate the effect of the Mega Chicken here, sending the copy of the Kieran. But they do chain the impulse to summon out a copy of the Airlifter here, which will be searching for a spell card. Kieran then can also trigger and bring out the copy of Ring Bali, which will therefore then also be able to pop the airlifter. But they do search for the emergence, which is quite nice for them. Getting essentially 2 free cards, or 1 free card from the hand there. Then we normal summon out the chicken nuggets, and then we act for the effect, searching for the Sky King Island here, which will be able to pop multiple cards, hoping to pop the a copy of Turbulence or something like that. But they do have the emergency, which means now that they know that we do search this card, it kind of loses the element of surprise because they will be able to just chain emergency at any point in time to try to essentially just dodge our destruction there. Then we set 1 mystery card and we simply pass on this. Then we see a Rhoda here, which we cannot stop. We could stop by destroying with the Ringo Bali, but at that point, is it really worth? It could be worth chaining to the copy of emergency there, and we would have been able to stop that and destroy the cards that we needed to. But we decide that we don't want them to see Rhoda here, which just searches for an impulse, I believe, or an airlifter. So not being the greatest on our parts there. We do see the normal summon of a hydrant. And they, at this point, we note they have the copy of emergency in the hand, so we're losing regardless. And then they're going to be searching here for the copy of either Turbulence or Preventer, and depending on what they search here. So searching for the Preventer, at this point, it is essentially going to be game over. For us, they can summon out the Preventer by banishing, and then we're forced to essentially pop this before they do anything. They try to activate the effective Preventer, flipping the Grunix face down. We have to chain it here, popping or attempting to pop the Grunix as well as the Preventer here. And then this one do anything when it's destroyed, and we go not when it's destroyed itself. Unfortunately, there. And they do chain the emergency, obviously getting that free discard essentially at this point. They make sure that they read Kieran once again. It's going to summon out the effect of Turbulence there, and then it gets destroyed, and nothing happens. And then we're going to be seeing the airlifter being summoned back out, and the airlifter is going to be searching for the Rescue HQ, which means they already have a second copy of Emergency in the hand here. And as you guys can tell, we get absolutely cooked here. Our Fire Kings get extinguished by this Turbulence here, and the game is extremely just over. So, yeah, definitely a bit of a misplay on our parts there. But it is going to be a little bit of a hard matchup, I do believe. You do have essentially 2 pops and then a monster negate. We should have kept it for the emergency. It didn't really matter to us at all that we shouldn't have burned Rango Bali's, destruction. But I don't really know if it would have mattered here. They also have the effect of Black Witch. So it's going to be able to do a bunch of stuff regardless here. That would have been able to search. We see them go for the copy of Ricardo, and they're going to be going for their big combo. But going for a Barone right away here, just to pop our stuff. And we just scoop it up there, realizing it is too late. And moving on to game 2, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It doesn't even get any better from here. This matchup is very hard, especially when you're on a budget. Definitely will be adding some cards to this, but I think that the leeway point of this is we're just testing essentially to learn the deck and see what it is. We did end up going 2-1 at our locals, which is very good for your first time playing. A little bit of a short locals there. A lot of people are in school because of exam season. So if anyone is doing exams, good luck on those. I hope you guys succeed. And come back to Yu-Gi-Oh when you guys can. But, looking at what the deck does, it does have a lot of power. To be honest, I'm looking at the structure deck, right out of the thing. We have Imperm, we have Drolls, we have a XYZ pop 100%, a dark hole on your opponent's turn, which is insane. But it does lack a bit of consistency. You do have your, 1 card starter, and you do have a bunch of other cards there. But, I don't want to be going -2 like we see once again with this copy of Trade-In. Trade-In's going to activate its effects. Discarding a card, getting Ash Blossom hurts so much. So definitely looking forward to playing the Dogmatica engine. We cannot afford the Sinful Spoil engine. Balling on a budget here. We're trying to play Legends. We're trying to play Fire Kings here. So
eventually we're going to be able to play actual Fire Kings and burn up. But we're not trying to burn up our wallets here. We're trying to burn up our opponents with all this fire, which will be most likely difficult. But the Nadir package is fairly cheap if it doesn't keep cropping up. Maximus is creeping up in price. I think it almost doubled in secret rare prices, which is truly insane. But I don't think it's really going to be sticking. A lot of hype for this deck. Definitely putting up fumes if you guys could want here. But I am excited. I'll probably pick it up. It is fairly cheap. We're going to be trying to do $15 on a budget, so that's going to be really our upgrades for next week. If I can't fit it in, we might be end up putting like hand traps in, or some other like really budget cards like Book of Moons, stuff like that. Cards that can't even hurt you from having. But I want to also mention that Ash Blossom and Nib are very cheap from the Rarity Collection, which just came out, and it would be a perfect time for you guys to pick them up if you guys have a little bit of more money to spend. I know it is near Christmas, so a lot of the time money is tight if you guys do celebrate that kind of stuff. But we're popping off here. Like, look at this. We played through an Ash Blossom, and now we're going like full combo, getting 2 level 8s on the field. We have also the Chicken Nugget on the field. Baron's going to be adding us a card here, or Baron, whatever you guys want to call it. And we do have blinds. But if we can do this consistency, or consistently, I should say, this is what we're really aiming for. The power level of this deck cannot be really augmented from just $15 on the first week. But what we could do is we could change the consistency of the deck, which therefore, if we can get this board more often, therefore we should be winning more often, which I guess kind of is my deck theory behind it. If you guys want to be thinking into my head, I don't really view power as always the best. If your deck like performs amazingly 1 every 10 times and has like the best power levels undefeated, yes, it's still amazing, but that's still 9 times where it doesn't do that. If we can minimize it to like, let's say, bring it is breakable, but 5 times, half the time that we do it, it is playable. I want to be seeing that. I don't want to be losing to Ash Blossom on my trade-ins, essentially. Those are the kind of cards I really just don't want to be playing, at least in the main deck. I still do like, of course, the Doggerans and the Alpha. Moving that to the side is very, it's going to happen. I'm not even going to be honest with you guys. I'm not even going to be lying. That card's 100% moving to the side. Those cards are crazy going second. But we're going to be looking at some other options here. Definitely going for the Nadir package with the copy of Shirag and stuff like that. But hopefully that the cards are not creeping up in price too much that we won't be able to pick it up all in 1 week. That could be a possibility, and then we're going to be looking at Ash Blossoms essentially there. But we're going to see the Rescue Ace player, pop off, go pretty much full combo, Turbulent set 4. And they're going to be reading the cards there. We do explain that if they do pop the fire, all our monsters will be destroyed. And so they're thinking about it like an SP actually is a problem here. Because if they go SP effect can just pop the Fire King at any point of time, and there's no way of actually protecting it essentially, which is absolutely horrible. As well as instant fusion here, we're seeing them steal at the Baron, and then they go for an Abyss Dweller, which is also a problem for the deck. I'm looking at the problems for this deck. Droll can hurt the deck, Ash can hurt this deck, Dweller can hurt this deck, D-Shifter can hurt this deck. There's a lot of cards that actually just crap on this deck significantly, which is going to be causing it for it to be an uphill battle. Hopefully we'll see the ban list and we'll see maybe an Abyss Dweller get hit, which could be nice. That card is a horrible card. It does promote Floodgates, but they don't even go for that. They end up going for the copy of Access Code instead. And normally we have the Sanctuary on the field, but they can just pop that first, and then there's no protection for it, and then pop the copy of Fire King essentially, and it's for 2 pops, you end up destroying the whole field, and then there's gonna be popping everything and just going for game here, which is quite a problem with the deck. So looking back, I'm seeing that we have to find a way to deal with Dweller, we have to find a way to deal with Shifter, and we have to find a way to just increase the consistency of the deck, so we end up playing at this more level. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me in the comments section down below what other cards you guys would think that we upgrade the deck. We are also looking at the Tri-Brigade version of the deck, But hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.